In the summer of 2016, Sam, a pseudonym, moved to 15 acres of land in central Maine that a friend purchased. The plan was to spend the summer and fall turning the property into a cannabis farm. She had converted an old bus into a cozy mini home, and 5 others had joined the venture to help get the business up and running. For a time, she enjoyed herself and the work they were doing. One evening, after a long day of work, everyone had gathered at the community house, which was a double-wide trailer, to play board games and watch movies. Around 9 p.m., Sam decided to call it a night and headed out. Quote, "I was tired from work, so I said goodnight and began walking to my bus. It was very dark. The moon was not up yet. I was barefoot with no flashlight, but it wasn't a far walk and I knew I could navigate with my feet." End quote. A moment later, the sound of snapping twigs had broken the silence. At first, she thought it might be an animal rustling in the cannabis garden, but the sound was too close, too deliberate. It didn't seem like an animal at all. It sounded like footsteps. Human footsteps. Quote, "My stomach formed a knot when I realized that the steps had sounded distinctly bipedal. My eyes had been looking at my feet, but they shot upwards when I heard the noise." End quote. Standing before her was the strangest looking person that she had ever seen. Quote, "I don't remember seeing its legs, probably because my eyes shot up so fast and I was so stunned. It stood maybe 7 feet tall. When my eyes shot up, I was facing its chest, and I had to raise my eyes higher to see its face." End quote. When their gazes met, the witness gasped and struggled to take a breath. Fear had seized her, and she was unable to do anything but stare. She later described the creature as, quote, "whitish, not glowing, but its skin looked exactly like pale skin under moonlight. The form was humanoid, but very tall and skinny. It had no clothing. I saw a bare chest, slender arms, and the shape of a head. I don't remember ears." End quote. As she studied its face, as much as she could in her frightened state, she couldn't tell if it had any features at all. Quote, "I think maybe it did have facial features, but they were so subtle or sunken in that I couldn't make them out." End quote. She couldn't bear to look at the creature any longer. It stood perfectly still as she gasped for air, the fear locking her in place, silencing any attempt to scream. Finally, her body forced a deep inhale. When she looked back at the strange figure, it hadn't moved. It stood still like a slender, abominable statue, silently watching her. After what seemed like forever, her fear finally loosened, and she ran back to the community house. She burst through the door, telling everyone what she had seen. She was visibly shaken, but they offered plausible explanations, perhaps a thief in the marijuana field. And she supposed that was possible. And maybe she scared herself into believing the intruder was something otherworldly. But dismissing it outright felt like gaslighting herself. She knew she had experienced something strange and wrestled with the logic of it. She later reflected, quote, "I consider myself a skeptic, and I think it's possible that my mind was playing tricks on me. But then again, I had never been afraid of the dark or anything like that. This was probably the strangest experience of my entire life, and to be honest, it haunts me." Though years have passed since that awful summer night, the memory remains vivid. Sam never saw the creature again, and no one else in the group reported seeing it either. But the experience left its mark. I can imagine her wondering if that creature still lurks near that garden in central Maine, standing perfectly still, waiting for the next unwitting visitor to cross its path.